All right. Hi. Oh, it's afternoon for us too. Look at us. I'm just on it. So we have no Bethany today. It's just me. You guys get to see all my heavily caffeinated self.
You get the birthday boy.
Oh, yes. You get birthday boy too. He is 31 years old, but he still feels like he's 20. I'm living it.
And it's also...
Oh, and it's National Puppy Day. So, woo! That's awesome, right? Okay. Welcome to Ask a Puppy Show, episode 48. Wow. 40 episodes. That's crazy. Ask a puppy trainer. Bethany usually does that part. If it's more than 3 words, Bethany does it. That's why she reads the long questions. But we have a ton of questions today, guys. So please throw in some stuff in the chat. If I get a chance, I'll get to it. But I literally have like 25 questions to go over. So we'll see what we get to. I tend to talk a little bit less at Bethany. Don't tell her I said that. Okay.
You're getting happy birthdays.
Oh, I get some happy birthdays. I like it.
Sparky, Ozzy misses you all.
Ozzy, I love it. I love it.
National Puppy Day.
Happy National Puppy Day, guys. All right, we're going to have a good time. I might rapid fire a few of these questions. If some are similar to each other, I might even reference them. So just bear with me, guys. If I don't get to your question, we'll answer it next week. All right, guys. So let's start with one of our short ones, just because it always gets me in the groove. From Serenity Elise. Does breed matter when it comes to how much I should expect from a puppy? Yes and no. Breed and temperament. That's mainly what I get. So if I have a lab puppy, I'm going to expect a highly driven, heavily motivated dog when it gets to about maybe 12 to 16 weeks. But most dogs are at a really young age. They tend to be a little bit more slow, a little bit more relaxed. But yeah, I would say breed does matter, but mostly temperament. Some dogs have higher drive, which means you can expect more from them at a younger age because they're literally been bred to work for you. If I have a Cavalier King Charles that's 13, 14 weeks old, I'm going to expect a lazier pup and a more laid back pup. Another one, if my pup did something bad, do I send him to the kennel? So punishment associated with kennel can be a negative association. The only thing you want to be careful with that is if we are going to put them in the kennel, don't associate it to the negativity of saying no. Most time if I'm going to put a dog in the kennel, I do my 3-strike rule. I know everyone's probably heard it to some degree. 3-strike rule is strike 1 is a firm no with a redirect. Usually I'll do a toy. No, grab a toy, try to redirect to the toy, a couple seconds, drop it, let it go, see if I can move away. They play with it. Strike 2 is a no with a body block, which is spatial pressure. If this is me, this is my dog, they're barking, jumping, or biting at my toes, I'll move in no, kind of get them to back off a little bit, help them settle. After you back off a dog, give about 1.34 seconds. That's right around their short attention span of where they'll actually listen to a command. If you don't give it within that time frame, they'll usually go back to doing what they're doing. If you can address it and you can work them through it, that's the ideal situation. But if you can, that's okay. Take a deep breath. That's not for the dog, that's for you. That's to help regulate your emotion, calm down your energy a little bit, calmly pick up your dog, put them in the crate, close it, lock it, walk away. As long as we don't associate negativity to the crate, most time you're good to go. A lot of times when you put your dog in the crate, they're gonna sit in there and be like, what the heck just happened? I was biting mom and dad and I know how much they love that. But they don't make the association that they're doing it malevolently because most puppies don't do something malevolently. They're just doing what their energy tells them to do. Giving them a chance to go in the crate helps them work through that energy, settle, relax, and then maybe 15, 20 minutes later, I'll bring them back out. If it's right around the end of your free time window, they've been out for 30, 45 minutes, you have a puppy that's say maybe 4 months old, they probably can't last much longer after that without getting cranky and frustrated because just like a baby, they need to nap 18 to 21 hours a day. Yes, you heard that number correctly, 18 to 21 hours a day. That's a lot. Ooh, I'm in my rapid fire mode. I drank so much caffeine just so I can give you the energy of Bethany and myself. Woo! All right. This is from our last episode, Should You Ever Wake a Sleeping Puppy? This is from Angie Delap. I don't know, however you say it. It's from Angie. Hello, love your channel. My 10-month-old Shih Tzu has been trained and is used to following rules and commands. Still, there is still room for improvement. I've tried to keep her on house line but failed immediately because she has been playing with my 5-year-old cat all her life. I do interfere and they listen. However, always had a hard time using the house leash because my cat runs after it continuously. This has caused me to not let my pup out more freely than I would like to. What can I do as an alternative to a house leash to keep my pup more in control around the house when she is practicing to be free around the house? I don't think you have a either or. I think it's either you use the inside house leash, you kind of get the cat used to it. A lot of times you can even body block a cat, which means Cat starts going for the leash, step in front of the cat. Bethany does believe that you can even body block and move into a cat, teach them spatial pressure, or get a playpen. You gotta find some way of helping your puppy know some form of boundary inside the house, and that usually comes from either setting a physical boundary or having them on leash. Body block the cat, teach the cat to respect the boundary of the leash. You guys should be okay. If you're using a long leash though, a 15, 20 foot leash, that can be much more challenging. Try cutting down to a 4 to 6 foot leash. And if you need to, tie it to your belt loop, help them follow you around. There's one part that I don't think I read right. Nope, that was it. All right, beautiful. Ginny, question. My puppy can sleep fine in his crate, but freaks out if he's in the crate and we leave the house. We make sure he has gone to the bathroom and had an educational walk beforehand. We also give a chew toy and he often has not touched it when we return. Any advice to help him be less anxious? Jenny, I'm sorry, that's a really challenging one. A lot of puppies that hear us leave the house, that can trigger some of that excessive barking. But let me ask you this, how does your puppy know that you've left the house? Is it a big thing where we tell them goodbye? And I'm not saying this is you that's doing it. Honestly, a lot of people do this, but they'll tell the puppy goodbye, you're okay, I'm gonna put you in there, we put him in the crate, we close it, lock it, but now it's been like this big show of me leaving. What I usually do for when I'm leaving the house is I put my puppy in the crate 15 to 30 minutes before I leave. I might jingle my keys, set them on the counter, walk around the house a little bit more. I might do my whole leaving routine before I actually leave. So when I do finally need to leave, everything's set up, everything's by the door, and you might even have to do a really quiet opening of the door, leave, quiet closing, quiet latch, that type of thing. If your puppy's crate is in the living room with full access to seeing you leave that door, you might even consider moving that crate to the bedroom. A lot of the times when puppies are able to see you leave, it creates more anxiety. They see you get your routine together of grabbing your keys, grabbing your purse, grabbing your wallet, grabbing your phone. All of that can be stress inducing. Relieve some of that stress by setting them up before you actually leave in their crate, help them get used to it. And if they are still barking, get your keys together, make all those sounds, be quiet, wait for the barking to kick in, and then move around the house a little bit more so they hear your steps. So they don't associate all those noises with you leaving the house. They associate them with just regular noises that you're gonna make even when you are home. I could honestly break that down for probably 10 hours if I really need to, but start with that, let us know how it works, and then shoot us back another question next week. I'm doing good. Wow, that was like 5 questions already?
Yes.
All right. See, when I'm by myself. All right. Hopefully.
Bethany's the problem.
Yeah, hopefully Bethany doesn't watch this. Shh, you didn't hear that. All right. Kimberly, and that's it. Okay. So do you have a few tips as to what you can do about the obsessive licking? My puppy is 5 months old and still jumps up and lick attacks anyone who walks in her home. She gets so excited like she's never seen a new person before. And she doesn't seem to hear me. Won't listen when I give her a command like place or sit, or try to get a word from people, or give her something to do. It's very normal. It sounds like you have a very happy, very excited puppy, and probably a very heavily overstimulated puppy. One thing I try to do is limit access to get to those people by having my puppy on a leash. But that may not be practical in every situation, because that means you have them on a leash and you're literally pulling them away the whole time. What I would do in the ideal situation is I'd actually crate your puppy 30 minutes before they get there and 30 minutes after they've been there. So you're basically eliminating the access to get to the person until they calm down in the crate. They may bark, they may whine, they may cry. If they do, I'll usually leave them in the crate 5 to 10 minutes past the stopping of that crying. So when I do eventually bring them out, that's not done yet. We bring them out of the crate. Most people are like, okay, free, go on. They jump on the people and it all starts over again. But also limiting the affection from the person is a big deal as well. I literally dealt with a client a couple days ago, and on their front door it says, for my dogs, no look, no talk, no touch. I think I cried a little bit because it was the most wonderful thing I've ever seen. What it basically means is that when people come in your house, they need calm energy. You could help by doing the crate. When they come out of the crate, keep them on the leash. If you practice some kind of place routine, places teach them to go to a designated area on command and stay there until released. I'll put them on that place and I'll sit next to them with that leash. They try to leave, they walk off, come, place, sit down. Good. They try to move, you body block, prevent them from moving. Eventually they learn how to settle. Once they settle, then I'll talk to my guests, hey guys, I'm gonna let my dog off a place. If she does run up to you, try not to give too much emotion or affection. drop your hand low, let them kind of just sniff you, but then pull your hand back. I'm actually not gonna let them jump on you either because I'm really trying to work on this like overstimulation, the overexcitement, the obsessive licking. So I'm just gonna help her exist in this environment without feeding a lot of affection into it. Should help you guys out a little bit. Was there 2 parts to that one? I feel like there was. Give her a command to sit in place, or like place or sit to get her away. Oh, you are using place. Just use a leash. Use a leash, have some food. Try to become the center of that attention. If she's barking at the person, that might mean back to the crate again, because it's really hard to work through the barking unless you're actually doing an active training session, which may not be practical if you just have people come over. Yeah, try the crate, place, allow the dog to kind of walk up, let them sniff, and then guide her away from them. When she settles and calms down, maybe you could even consider taking off the leash. Play it by ear. How are we doing on time? Ooh, 13. Okay guys, this is going off of Carrie's question, which was puppy in the crate, separation anxiety. Well, she didn't say separation anxiety, but I think that's what we're dealing with. Puppy's 11 weeks old. They've done a lot of stimulation, a lot of freedom to roam, not much sleep throughout the day, unless it's by her feet. The dog was barking a lot in the crate, 30 to 45 minutes for the first probably, it sounds like a couple days. It looks like I got a second response from a few days later of the dog is doing better, still struggling with the independent play being in the playpen, but not as much in the crate. We also struggle to calm him down using example leashed exercises because he just wants to bite the lead or refuses to engage even with high value treats available. So any other advice to wind him, like basically wind him down, wind him out before going in his crate would also be great. Sorry, lots of questions. So the crate part, let's tackle that one. It seems like you guys are going through some separation anxiety. What I mean by that is you have a puppy that is disagreeing with being in the crate in the daytime and probably feels heavily overstimulated. I wouldn't just help them wind down when training. I would also limit affection 30 minutes to an hour before they go into the crate. That can be some of the hardest thing is we give a lot of affection. We train them though. Come, sit, good job, good pet, head pet. It still overstimulates them. It doesn't bring them down, it actually brings them up, it amps them up. So try eliminating that affection. I do a very blunt, very stoic, come, good, sit, good, place, good, food in between, but I don't do a lot of affection. It will help bring them down, calm them down. And I also tend to do the playpen, the supervised separation for about 10-15 minutes before putting my puppy in the crate. It helps calm them down, give them a little bit of that independence before going into the crate, and then when they go in the crate, it might even help them settle in the future as well. So play around with that. Let me address the last part of the question though. Calming down, using the example leashed exercises before he just wants to bite the lead or refuses to engage. So if he refuses to engage, it might mean that he has low food drive. If he has low food drive, start saving his meals for training. If I have a dog that doesn't want to work for kibble or work for treats, I won't feed him his meal except for in a training pouch, and I make him work for the entire meal. He might also be getting maybe a little too much food, which means his appetite isn't great enough to want to train. You can help him by saving those meals and training him for his meals. Another thing too is maybe go to the store and get a rotisserie chicken. Shred up that rotisserie chicken, try to get it a plain original so there's not too much seasoning on it. Throw out the skin, just take the chicken itself, and then train him with his food. A lot of people tend to do pressure when they're training. Dog come and they pull the dog. That's called opposition reflex. When a dog feels tension on the leash, they tend to fight the tension and not want to come to you. So if you are getting that, create a little bit of pressure, show them the food, release the tension, and when they start moving, good, ask for the sit. You have to build up the drive. If the dog is still fighting the leash, drop it on the ground. Let him drag the leash and focus on the food. That's usually how I get my dogs to focus more on the food, less on the leash. No leash pressure, let them drag it on the ground, and then work them for the food. If the dog is still fighting on the leash, have them drag her on the leash for a majority of their free time. Watch free time though. They can't be dragging around without you looking, otherwise they'll chew it up and eat it. Long questions give me anxiety because I hate reading and not being able to paraphrase very nicely.
Well, look what happened when you read the long one.
I know, see?
It silenced you.
Yeah, TikTok didn't like it. Instagram didn't like it. TikTok, we love you. All right, from Irina. How do I get my pup to stop marking? I don't have too much information though. I see pup, but I reference my older dogs as pups as well. If it's a young dog, 6 months or younger, and it's in the house, I would have them on a leash at all times and not even dragging the leash around. That leash would be attached to my hip or in my arm. If I'm outside walking, I would prevent access to the areas that my puppy normally marks. If I'm allowing them to walk all over the grass walk by every tree that they see. We're actually promoting the marking by giving access to the areas that they want to mark. If I have a dog that is glued to my side and I'm using food by my side, heel, good treat, heel, good treat, dog pulls towards a distraction, pause, do not move. If we move towards a dog that's pulling towards something, we're promoting the pulling. Wait till you get even a split second of eye contact. The minute you get it, dog come, good treat. Turn and move the opposite direction. There's also a lot of people that work specifically on leash training. So if you're struggling, we do recommend getting a private one-on-one trainer. They'll teach you how to use any kind of training tools. There's a lot of them out there. A lot of people like slip leads. Sometimes they use easy walks. There's a lot of tools to help you get leverage. And by leverage, I mean control over a situation that feels uncontrollable. So you just got to find what works best for you. A lot of people can even do positive reinforcement of holding the dog, waiting them out. They look, they get eye contact, they recall them to you. Recall is come, come is recall, same thing. Recall the dog to you, reward, turn in the opposite direction. Doodle, how can you tell if a puppy counter is just playful or too aggressive? Usually the escalation of the growling. So most puppies will play growl. It's pretty normal. But also I want you to think of playing as like a wave. It pushes one way and pushes back the other. It's like an ebb and a flow. If one dog is jumping at the other dog and the other dog is only backing up and there's no reverse, that usually means that it's one-sided and one of those puppies is not having as good of a time. You're looking for push, 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 give in. Push, 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 give in. There's got to be this back and forth of the play to where one dog wants to be big and tough and then the other dog allows to be big and tough. That's how I usually know I'm getting good play. If it's one-sided, maybe it's not a good matchup. When the dog that is getting pushed at gets pushed at hard enough, they may even turn from that submissive state to a more pushy, growly state to counteract the pushy puppy. So you just gotta kind of see what you're looking at. I'm looking for a back and forth ebb and flow, and you can easily hear the escalation of growls, growl, 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 versus growl, growl, growl. The big one, the escalation, that's when I usually try to separate my puppies, put my body in between, move them to two different sides, maybe even put on leash, practice play station for a little bit, and then give them another opportunity to play after. But yeah, for me, it's the give and push. I'm sure Bethan would have a million more things to say that one, but I tend to watch a lot of puppy play, and when I see puppies ganging up on other ones, or I see a puppy just being basically bombarded by one high energy puppy, I know to step in and mitigate the energy between the two dogs. The more I mitigate, the more those puppies look at me to advocate for them. If I advocate for my puppies, they don't feel the need to advocate for themselves. That was a circular reasoning right there. All right, whatever. Jenny Adam, breed fulfillment for Goldendoodle. What?
I guess maybe
I don't know
are
what
there
that means.
anything that Bernedoodles need to fulfill them as a breed, as their breed?
Oh, Goldendoodles. Okay, so to give you an idea what Goldendoodles were actually originally bred for 50 years ago was be one of the strongest service animals. And when they were originally bred, they were some of the strongest service animals. So they have a high drive for work, just to give you an idea. However, everyone loves Goldendoodles. Everyone loves doodles in general. So they were bred a lot, but their energy couldn't keep up with a standard family with two kids, mom, dad going to the park and going to soccer and baseball games. So they've been bred to now have higher energy, which means that they do have that need to play and the need to run around and work. So I would say that for breed fulfillment for a Goldendoodle is they need a good amount of exercise, but not just running around in the backyards with the kids. I'm talking fetch. I'm talking tug with a lot of drops, pauses, sits, waits, break, and then playing with the dog again, but also a lot of training to balance that out. If you don't have a good balance, for me, I'm always 2-to-1, 2 times train, 1 times play. So if I'm gonna do a 20-minute training session, I'll do about 10 minutes of play, maybe 10 minutes before, 20 minutes after, whatever you guys need. But I usually say good balance of training to play. They're not lazy dogs. They need a lot of good walks, training walks. I can't think right now. Training walks and constructive play. So playing, or fetch and then tug. Tongue-tied today. Love it. I think that's all my short questions.
Yeah, you got them.
Damn it. Now I gotta do the long ones again. I hate the long ones. That's usually when I give them to Bethany.
Nico and Dallas, and then the one from Tracy.
Move on to Tracy.
We have 2 from Nico and Dallas, and then 1 from Tracy left.
Okay, I'm gonna do Tracy first. All right, Tracy. Help, my 11-month-old golden Old mini Goldendoodle is regressing. He is super smart and was doing so well with socializing and training, but this past month he's showing signs of anxiety and bossiness. Yay, adolescence. You have a teenager. He started jumping and nipping again. He went back to leash in the house most of the time. Good job. He's crate trained and always been happy in his crate, but we went away for about 10 days and he stayed at home with my mom and daughter. They broke the crate routine and now he whines and barks whenever we leave him. The worst though is walks. If we try to walk with more than one person, he loses it. He starts a high-pitched barking and jumping, pulling, acting crazy. We can't even walk him like that. He's fine one-on-one, but also has started barking at random people or things like strollers and bikes. Oh, I love it. This is like a 4-part question. All right, I'm gonna start with the short part. All right, so 11-month-old mini Goldendoodle is regressing. One, you have an adolescent puppy. He's starting to become a teenager, which means he probably would have regressed no matter what, but leaving for the 10 days obviously has probably escalated that situation. So you've already put him back on the leash. He's doing the jumping and the nippiness again, so that's where leashes can come in most often. He's crate tamed, but is now barking again in the crate. I think you have to go back to a shorter schedule, hour-and-a-half in the crate, 30 minutes of free time. He may not be able to do the 2-3 hours that he was doing or probably more than that, probably 4 to 5 hours he was doing as an 11-month-old before you guys left. So go back to your basics, structure schedule, shorter times in the crate, shorter windows of free time, do more training, and also tag back on the amount of affection that you guys are giving. If you're giving a ton of affection, you're gonna have a dog that's going to start expecting more from you affection-wise. Most dogs that get a lot of affection and they're getting less training, they're gonna become a little bit more pushy. So less affection, more training. If he barks in the crate, ignore it, let him do his thing. I might even give him more supervised separation by doing like a back tie or a tether so he has time to be in his own area without always having access to you guys. Let me see if I got all that. Bossiness, jumping and nipping. Jumping, nipping, I do also the 3-strike rule, not just ignoring it, but addressing it. Honestly, a redirect probably isn't gonna work as nicely though for you guys. 11-month-old is an older dog, which I do usually more addressing. So I'll pick up the leash, jumping on me, nipping at me, I'll lift up the leash, step in, body block firm, push him back, ask him for a sit, try to redirect him. He keeps it up over and over and over again. Take that deep breath. Put him in the crate, calm, relaxed, low energy, so he isn't associated with the negative association to the crate. Yeah, a lot of it is just him trying to think that he's in charge and you showing him that he's not. I'm not the whole like pack leader dog thing. I'm just more of, I want to be a good leader for my dog, and I want him to understand that he needs to respect your space as that leader for him. The walking part though, ooh, I love this. So the walking is the worst. That's when he sees people, he loses it, starts the high-pitched barking, jumping, pulling, acting crazy. I would honestly consider getting a one-on-one trainer. I think because you have an adolescent dog who's becoming an adult, sounds like even with the mini Goldendoodle, he can still be 30, 40 pounds if you have a big one on the bigger side. I would do one-on-one trainer and look at tool training. You can use slip leads, you can use it, look at easy walks, gentle leaders. You have a lot of different options to help you get that focus. We also call this working a dog below threshold. When he's doing the barking and the whining, that means he has hit his threshold. And threshold is kind of like a training term. It means that you're at the point of no return. When he hits threshold, that's when the barking starts. Working him below threshold means that you see the distraction, you move him away from it, and when he starts looking and paying attention and seeking out your attention, that means that you're working below threshold, and then I'll work him through heel, sit, down, stay, come, heel, sit, down, stay. I grab that focus and I work him through that big energy. But again, if you're still not getting focus, you probably do need to seek some one-on-one training, especially for a pushy adolescent dog. I think that's it. Barking at random people, same thing, strikes, strollers and bikes. Yeah, same thing. I would start looking at private training, one-on-one, or even like a group class, looking at a couple different training tools that they offer and find leverage over these situations, working below threshold. But the inside stuff, go back to your basics. 11 months old, adolescent, he's just getting more pushy.
We're past 1:30, but do you want to do one of Nico's question? We can do the next one next week.
That went quick.
I know.
Nico Dallas, we're gonna save your long question for next week. We're gonna start with a short one though. Hi, I have a question for tomorrow. I have a 13-week-old Aussie and he knows place. We practice staying there for a minute for a treat. Sometimes he'll put himself on the cot on his own to chew a toy. When do I begin increasing the time he has to stay in place and how? I'd like to teach him to learn how to relax in place eventually. So I would honestly start now. 13 weeks old, you could probably get maybe 3 or 4 minutes at a time. Anytime that I teach place, I don't just put them on place, wait for them, treat, and then break. That's how I introduce place. If you've been working on it for a little bit of time, you can start doing what I call check-ins. Dog place, sit, good, treat, pause, take a step back, take a step in, good, treat, take a step back, take a step in, and I'll do this over and over and over again. You're gonna see a gradual point where you actually see Dallas settle down and relax a little bit. That's what you're looking for. And that's how I get, honestly, with my puppies, I get usually between 45 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes within the first 10 weeks of them being in our program. But it does take some body blocking. They try to step off, move in, spatial pressure, get them to back off a little bit. When they settle, good. And then treat. We don't want them to get off. I step in, say no, sit down, and then give a treat instantaneously, because that's instant gratification. We're actually rewarding the bad behavior of trying to get off. So as you do this more and more, you're gonna see your puppy settle down, and that's when I might keep a leash on them, put that place next to my chair, sit on there, wait them out every 2 to 3 minutes, good treat. They try to get off, step in front, body block, wait for them to settle, good. Wait maybe 10 to 20 seconds longer, good, and then treat. So redirection, reward, or correction, redirection, pause, and then reward. That's usually how I increase place. We call it placestration for obvious reasons. Okay guys, that's all I got. And Dallas Nico will answer your next question next week. All right guys, thanks for joining. Sorry Instagram didn't work today. TikTok, thanks for sticking around guys. Appreciate you.